Hello everyone, my name is Arkat Ntimubahide and I'm going to narrate this presentation and I welcome you all to this presentation. This presentation talks about two main parts, and the first part will be taken about as in the inflation. So straight away to the first part. Firstly, inflation is a continuous increase or rise in the prices of a basket of a given commodity. So let's take an example uh, in a given country. So the inflation is mainly detected by assessing the how constantly a basket of given commodities has been increasing and as well as how years have been continuously increasing in the prices of different commodities. So the inflation rate is also obtained by considering how often or the percentage at which the inflation has been increasing in a given region. And also the consumer price index, it reflects the buying power or the buying power of customers in reference to a given quantity or a basket of consumers. So this first concept reflects the first scenario where we had to analyze the situation of different years, as you can see this table here, which shows the overall CPI and the inflation rates within these given years. So in the scenario we had been provided with mainly three products, which we had to calculate the CPIs for 2018 to 2022, taking 2018 as the base year for the buying or the selling of these products. So if we say that a product, or if we say 2018 as the base year, we will always have 100% because we are not referring to other previous years, so we are considering that as maybe the first year of buying those products. So that is so then we say that we can consider that as the first year where we have maybe sold a product at the first time. So that's why we consider it as 100%. And in 2018, the consumer price index or the buying power of the consumers has increased to 104%, which means that more consumers came on coming, or the frequent or the times that different consumers used to buy it might have increased. And so if we shift to the inflation rate, so if we say basically if so we are still considering the base year, there is so because we are not referring to other given years, that is also still referred to as though there is no inflation rate because, so as I said earlier, we are not referring to a given year. So if we say 3.8% as the inflation for the first year after the base year, this literally means, or economically means, that from the base year that people has been buying different commodities, there have been an increase of 3.8% on a given commodity of that was being sold within the year, considering a given basket. So in 2020, the inflation rate became 4.8. So it means that the, the, the price of a given commodity in consideration of the basket for those different commodities that we listed, like bread, milk, and fuel. So it means that the, the price has increased, so moving higher. So that's what this 4.8% means. So if we continue to 2021, the inflation rate became 3.5%. So this means that the, the increase or the percentage increase of the prices has reduced to 3.5%, which was mainly indicated by this overall CPI of 113%, which indicates how the buying power of the consumers has increased. So if we may go to the next shows the inflation rate, the previous table in the graphical presentation. So this, as narrated before, this shows how the inflation has been increasing, or the prices, or the increase in prices has been raising within the years. So from 2018 to 2022, it has increased. From 2022 to 2021, it has decreased as it's shown in this graph. Moving on with the business cycle, so we've seen that the business has mainly five phases, which includes expansion, peak, recession, trough, and recovery. So in expansion, it's where the business is starting, so the business is growing, the output is growing, as well as the unemployment. So as if a business is growing as well as the output is increasing, it means that it is reducing, it is having an impact when reducing the unemployment rate that is within the country. So if we say peak, it's when where the business is up, where it is maximizing the output, and then it starts moving down, whereby the, the unemployment starts somehow increasing, and the output is somehow limited, and it's on the maximum. So if we say recession as the next phase of the business, it's where the output now is reducing. So the business has reached on the maximum. So mainly, so I can say that on the recession phase, that's where more business is coming into that industry, and then it's causing the unemployment rate to increase. So as well as the output level reducing because of lacking people to purchase or to sell those products. And if we move first to trough, it's also a turning point where the business has been reducing the output and the employment rate increasing, and the business is not really growing significantly. So if trough is a turning point where the business now starts to come from so that lagging behind, if I can say, like the output now is starting to recover, and the business now is being stable, normal, like turnovers within the employees. And then if I can move firstly to recovery, that's when if I can relate that to someone who was sick. So if you say that it's recovery, that's when he starts gaining some energy to walk, to do some kind of activities. So in businesses also, recovery signifies that the business now is regrowing, if I can say. It is now reducing the level of unemployment because it's starting to increase also, again, the output, and yeah, the business is regrowing again. So that's the end of the first part, and then the second part we move to the international trading. Uh, Mainly we will focus on the trade agreements that is among countries. So trade agreements mainly is agreements that different countries follow so as to easy the way of collaboration between the production of different industries. So if I can say, we can tackle the potential impacts of trade agreements between countries. Firstly, it reduce trading and geopolitical barriers. So if we can say the before maybe these countries within the East Africa, before having this East African community, because it also facilitates in this trade agreement. So if I can say this example that I provided below, which is the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. So before being there introduced, there were very big barriers whereby like buyers or manufacturers of different industries struggled really hard to get to trade within two countries within the same continent, which was really a big barrier to them. And also, this trade agreement encourage investments in both countries. So if I can say Rwanda maybe today can have agreement with Angola, this will help the country to gain some investors from maybe Angola to come to invest to Rwanda, and also from Angola to come to invest, no, from Rwanda to go to invest to Angola, due to that friendship or that simplification in terms of collaboration of industries. So it improves also the economies in both countries, because if it has reduced the barriers that those countries will face while collaborating, and it is encouraging investments, and it is really flowing. That means that the economies of both countries are going to rise from a given level to another level. So the potential challenges that can arise within the trade agreements is that, firstly, there is a collapse of domestic industries, because if maybe today Rwanda and Angola are having partnerships of maybe importing or exporting some kind of products. If Rwanda is exporting some products that are made from Angola, it will, due to the strength that this trade agreement gives those products that are being exported, it will impact the local companies that produce the same products in reducing the quantities that they used to produce, due to the fact that it has got a competitor which is strongly or highly supported by these trade agreements. And also another challenge is that there will be an involvement of political powers in operations. So if I can say so, different countries will have to struggle due to the fact that or the different industries that are within these countries that are having the trade agreements will have to suffer, because if there is something that they have to agree on, it will lead to them first conducting the political powers, which can ease the flow of the product, or which can ease the argument. So this is another challenge that is affecting highly the production. So the next point is an example of a trade agreement. So I've decided to use this, which is from Africa, which is African Continental Free Trade Agreement. So this this agreement has mainly started in 2020, I think it's 2014. Yeah, 2014. It started in Gambia. Yeah, it's Gambia. Yeah. On the event, it was on the 14th meeting of African Union. So this is mainly focusing on easing the flow of the trading between countries, and it will mainly tackle on 55 countries that are within this continent, and then also it will include eight commercial communities like East African community and other communities that are within Africa. So these are the main resources that have found this organization. There is a scenario that has been provided, which was asking about the absolute and comparative advantage between Rwanda and Angola. So Rwanda and Angola is looking forward to have a trade agreement in the production of coffee and in the plastic water tanks. So firstly, in considering comparative advantage is referred to when we are assessing the opportunity costs that different countries will be foregoing. So basing on the calculations, I found that the Rwanda will be foregoing 0.45 amount of water tanks, and then Angola will be foregoing 0.7. So if you can relate, so Rwanda is losing less amount compared to Angola. That's why Rwanda will consider going for coffee. And then referring to the water tanks, Angola has an opportunity cost, so it's losing 1.28 coffee, then Rwanda is losing 2.2. So that means that Rwanda is losing a high amount and Angola is losing a less amount. That's why here we refer Angola to move for plastic water tax because it uses less amount. And then absolute advantage. Absolute advantage, that's where in given resources, a country can produce a higher amount within the provided resources. So in the calculations that I did in the MS Word, so Rwanda, given that it's using only one water, Rwanda can produce 12.22 tons of coffee, while Angola can produce 11.25 tons of coffee. So you can relate. So Rwanda here is producing high tons of coffee. And then referring to Angola, it will be producing 10 plastic water tanks and 8.3 water tanks. So you see here, Angola is producing a high quantity given that it's using less. So we're using the same equal amount of resources. So here, Rwanda can produce also specialize in producing coffee, and then Angola produce plastic water. So that's why, as conclusion, I would say that in consideration of comparative and absolute advantage, Rwanda can consider the production of coffee. So as comparative and absolute advantage advises Rwanda to produce coffee, and Angola can consider the production of plastic water tanks. So that was also from the calculations as well as the analysis done from comparative and absolute advantage calculations. So thank you. That was all of my presentation.